Good afternoon on what is a mild, grey and overcast day. It is Friday the 19th of November. I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea, a cat, who is not ours, on my lap, and some parcels. And the next thing I am going to unbox is this. And what you've got in here is that. Oh, careful. This is courtesy of my friend Neve, who ordered a copy herself and has let me do an unboxing. So this is the second survey, Atlas of the Imperium, for Traveller Science Fiction Adventures in the Far Future, but from Far Future Enterprises. This is Mark Miller's publishing enterprise. Mark Miller, the original designer of Traveller, and basically through GDW, the original publisher. So, Atlas of the Imperium second survey. Star maps of 64 sectors in and around the Imperium. The Imperial Interstellar Scout Service's long-awaited second survey of the Imperium, originally published in 1065, is now available in an updated commercial edition, mapping 64 sectors in and around the Third Imperium. All pertinent astrographic data is presented on full-page maps showing every Imperial sector from the fabled core, the centre of the Empire, to the Vland, Corridor, Deneb and Spinwood Marches sector, from Verge on the edge of the Rift to Ilesh, Magyar and Debai sectors, from distant Antares to the Delphi, Old Expanses and Solomani Rim sectors. Every system main world of the Imperium is shown, each in its proper location. Expanding on previous editions, the Atlas includes details of many sectors beyond the Imperium, from the remote far frontiers, Vanguard Reaches and Theta Borealis sectors to the Mendan and Amdukan sectors of the Julian Protectorate, and many sectors in the Vargar Extense and Aslan Hierate. To each main world on the map is shown with base, starport and world type, standard desert or asteroid belt, and all are named with high population worlds and capitals highlighted. Communication and trade routes are also shown where possible. Accompanying each map are tables containing full second survey details on every world in the sector. Additional text details with the history of the Imperium, information on how to use the Atlas. The Atlas is used for Traveller 5, but can be used with any addition of the travel rules. So when they say it's for use with Traveller 5 is the version of Traveller, the science fiction role-playing game, which originally came out in 1977. It's the fifth version to come directly from Mark Miller. And it's primarily, I would say, it's a kit for running the game rather than necessarily a setting book. You'll need something like this to go with it. Whereas the most recent iteration of Traveller Second Edition from Mongoose is more focused on the rules and the setting. But still, you'll need more content as well. So this. Now, there was originally Atlas Imperium many years ago, and this supplements it or replaces it. And oh my gosh, well, okay, I literally just open the page. Here we go. It looks like a telephone directory from very far away. Just bringing that. See if I can get that in focus. So that's just how close you have to get in order to look at this content. You at least need a magnifying glass. This is just. It's definitely too. I suspect that this text is too small for the old eyes of many traveller grognards, let alone anyone new getting into the hobby, unless they've got very good vision. So what you've got here, so we open up, okay, we're gonna, there's a map of the overall region, there we go, and you have to remember, essentially, this is the play area of the Atlas Imperium, basically Traveller, is huge. I mean, you wouldn't believe how hugely mind-boggling space is. You may think it's a long way down to the chemist, but that's just peanuts to space. If I have to quote Douglas Adams there to get the idea across. So here we have sort of like a map of a sector, and God, that's the Gashikan sector, and that is 16 by 16 subsectors. Each of those hexes is 1 parsec, basically worth of jump distance, as it were. And then, so that's the map. Turn over the page, and we have not the library data, but the planetary data for all of the planets in the system. And that's essentially 2 1/4 pages of it. So there, and there. And we keep doing that, so let's just flip through. So there's we get to a point where there is a page where I actually recognise a sector, because there's a lot of space up here that I've never gamed in throughout my travel playing experience, which isn't huge. I mean, I've done a bit, mostly in the Spinwood Marches, I have to be honest, and our cat is off, so and then we have there's the frontier sector. Now that's interesting from the point of view, that's the FASA content that was originally developed by FASA, and it's where their scenarios and stuff on. So basically, Legend of the Sky Raiders, Trail of the Sky Raiders, Fate of the Sky Raiders. All those 3 scenarios are set down there, and I have reviewed Legend of the Sky Raiders and really enjoyed reviewing that. So where we get to here, and this is one I definitely recommend, and that's the Spinwood Marches. And the Spinwood Marches is essentially the core play area for the for travel. It's basically where everyone starts playing, because that's the one that every time you have a new iteration of Traveller, that the information is presented again and again. Okay, and there are other sectors available, and the thing is, in the past, as I said, FASA was handed out a sector of its own to play with. Judges Guild was, Paranoia Press was, and so on, and they each had a sector which they could develop alongside the Third Imperium, which is the main empire of humanity. So we keep going through here, and there's such a lot in here, but it's sort of a case of, well, it's not just a case of it's sort of like far away because it's a star map. It's sort of like it's small. You know, it's sort of like how can I put it? Those stars are far away. These stars are small as well, and that's amazing. I managed to get both a Hitchhiker's Guide and a Craggy Island reference in there, Dougal reference in there. Because if you can get a gag in about the size of cows, relative sizes into anything, you should always do it. So yeah, I mean, if you have a look at this, I'm going to go back to the Spinwood Marches. Where are we? As the most recognisable play area here. So I'm just going to bring that in really close. So you can see the travel route, and you can see the names, and you can see sort of like the mains. And but what I mean by the mains is a chain of worlds which are 1 jump apart. So you can have ships with jump 1 interstellar, basically drives, can just go hop from one world to the next, get fueled up, hop onto the next, and so on. And that's really about the limit, you know. This it's really kind of like a top-down overview. It is it's almost as if you are literally sort of peering out this book from, very far away. you know, otherwise you've really got to get down there or with a magnifying glass, and that's a problem. And in some ways, back again, sorry, I'm not entirely sure that this book really is of a great deal of use. It's interesting, but how you bring it to your game is hard to say. You know, unless you have something like, okay, let's have a look. So we've got, like, we'll get down to the touchdown sector, and we've got this great big block there. I have no idea what that is. I don't know what that is either. And unless you know, it's sort of like you almost need like another book to go and reference this one. It's almost like you need an Encyclopedia Galactica to accompany this. So, you know, it's unless you are dealing with somewhere that is not particularly compact, or you know, then it's a little bit difficult to really kind of deal with. So finally we get down to the end. What we've got at the end, we do have something else at the end. Apologies, just flipping through. So we've got world data, which relates to essentially size of the planets, atmosphere, degree, hydrographic percentage, type of governments, tech levels, law levels, that sort of thing, and that's all useful. But again, that's kind of like, that'll be familiar to most Traveller players anyway. Anyway, at the very last end, probably in some ways the most interesting bit is the credits, because that shows you who designed what and where they come from. So how useful this book is another matter. There is an index, that's fine, that's useful, but I don't know. The second survey, that is Imperium, I think possibly gives the third Imperium and its surrounding sectors a sense of scale and scope. Well, certainly a sense of scale and distance that it probably doesn't mean to set out to do. Anyway, I sort of like it as it is, but I almost really, again, it's the fact that almost you wish you could just drill down into the worlds and look at them in further detail, but you can't because of the format and just the scope of the content. Yeah, so that's second survey Atlas of Imperium from Far Future Enterprises. So I want to thank Neve for letting me borrow that and do an unboxing. And also thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, post those, do take the time to read them. And lastly, if you want to see me back, basically you want to be alerted to more videos of me being out here in the Reading Nook with the cat who's not ours, who's now sat on the table, and me with a nice hot cup of tea, and a package and a book, which I'm going to talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for 10 minutes or so. Please hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thank you once again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.